Good evening once again, or good day. It's 5 o'clock in Zadar, Croatia. The sun is still shining. It feels like spring. It's very warm. So a warm welcome to you all. Thank you for being willing to spend the next 1 hour with myself. I'll be sharing some of my experiences with eTwinning and Erasmus. In the chat, I have my colleagues who are my partners in this great Erasmus project, but also I have colleagues from school who will be there to answer any burning questions that you might have about eTwinning, about Erasmus, and my colleague Margarita will be sharing with you a form that I'd love for you to fill in, please, whether you're a Croatian participant or if you are joining us from outside the borders of Croatia. This is just so that I can send you a certificate of participation for the Croatian participants. If you didn't have a chance to log on to Emma, then I will do that for you, not to worry, but just please use the form that will be in the chat to write down your email, your name, and your surname. Thank you. Okay, so I'll start with sharing my screen. If something is not visible, or if you'd like to ask me a question during the presentation, please do not hesitate to turn your microphone on or your camera, whichever you prefer, and you can ask me. This is going to be a very kind of informal chat in many senses. Most of you I know, everyone is a colleague, so please feel free just to jump in whenever you feel the need. Otherwise, the chat is open for all of you to discuss and ask questions amongst each other. So let's share my screen, and if you could just let me know if there are any problems. Hopefully everything will function fine. You can see it. Can somebody just let me know if it is a full screen? I don't need you to see my notes. And if you could turn your microphones off, that would be great. Okay, hang on. So it's not a full screen. Let's have a look now. How does it look now?
Still not in like projection view. We can see the slides on the side.
Yeah, I see. This seems. Let's have a. Let's try again.
All good.
All good. Thank you. Thank you. So, eTwinning and Erasmus, two very different projects, or maybe not. Maybe these are two companions, because this is how I see them. I'm not sure whether there are many eTwinning participants here with us today, or are you just Erasmus participants and partners, whether Erasmus is your go-to project. But today I'd like to go through how eTwinning and Erasmus function as a perfect partnership. So I'll just go through a short introduction of why I think eTwinning is a great companion and a great source of information, a wonderful website where over 1 million teachers throughout Europe are registered. But then Erasmus and eTwinning definitely kind of combine together as a perfect partnership. And then also I will go through a project that I'm currently involved in, which is an Erasmus project. It's a project that is very close to my heart because it kind of combines the two topics that I enjoy most, climate change and STEM. As a mathematics teacher, I definitely believe in the power of mathematics, in the power of change, but also I believe in the importance of climate change education. So this is a project that started I'd say almost a year and a half ago. We're over halfway through this project. It ends on the 1st of October this year, but as many of you will probably be applying to participate in Erasmus projects as coordinators or as partners, then perhaps this would be a great opportunity for you to meet people who are currently in the webinar, or to ask questions, meet future partners, and just see how eTwinning and Erasmus function together, and what I believe is a good way to present a project. So there are many of you, I think, particularly outside of Croatia, who have not really heard of eTwinning before. I was a little bit surprised going into this project with partners from Sweden, Belgium, Portugal and Turkey. Very many of the partners had never even heard of the eTwinning portal, had never used it. So for them, this was something that was very new. But the eTwinning site, I really believe, is an excellent type of springboard. Why is that? As I mentioned before, because over 1 million teachers are registered on the site, and there's a wealth of information. Not only can you do projects, organize partnerships among primary schools, high schools, even pre-primary schools, but you can find lots of resources, professional development and so forth. But I'd say the main really goal for myself is doing projects, finding partners that have the same interests as I do. So these were my thoughts on what I believe a successful partnership entails. I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but I think all of these points are fairly valid. And as an eTwinner since 2016, I believe I have been a part of many projects on this website. Oops. So all of the phases that I mentioned before can definitely be performed within eTwinning. Many of the teachers that participate in projects are similar to myself and to you as well, because you're here with me this afternoon, this early evening. So you obviously have a passion for learning, for collaboration, cooperation, and for projects. What is the base of a quality project? It's all about the people. At the end of the day, it's all about partnerships. And if you don't have a solid foundation, a good partnership, then, or has it stopped? Can you not see the presentation? Someone's just told me that it's stuck.
Da, Anita, još smo na prvom slajdu.
Okay. I'm on slide 6 for some reason, and you on slide 1.
We can see only the slide 1.
Yes. Teams does not seem to be cooperating with me today. Let's try one more time. I've been talking and my slides have been going forward, but nothing seems to be happening. How about now?
Yes, we can see now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not full screen. It's not full screen. I see that, but I'm not going to mess around with it anymore because it's important that you can see the slides. So just please ignore the left-hand column. So as I said, one of the bases of a quality project is, of course, good partnerships. What is a good partnership? It's knowing that you can rely on your partner, that they are cooperative, they kind of keep their end of the bargain in a sense. And the eTwinning portal offers various tools and ways to search for such appropriate project partners. And in a lot of senses, I believe eTwinning is a good starting point if you want to meet partners who'd like to start an Erasmus with you. That's definitely the way I see it, because projects that are done on eTwinning are, in a sense, very easy. There are no mobilities. There are no mobilities in an eTwinning project. Everything is done in a safe environment, online. Your pupils know that they can communicate with other children from classrooms all over Europe and so forth. So eTwinning projects are a good foundation to meet people, to come up with ideas, and hopefully to think of a good Erasmus where you will be working again with these people, but meeting them on live. So how do you search for partners? For those of you who are new to eTwinning, I will just go through this phase very quickly. But as I said, many of the partners in the Erasmus project that I am involved in don't use eTwinning at all. So this is also for them. How do you search for partners? You can log into the website and just go through the partner finding process. It's a way to meet people from selected schools and organizations. For example, if there's a school that you would like to, for some reason, cooperate with, you can search for that school and see which teachers are involved and registered on the eTwinning site. Another thing that I just wanted to emphasize with eTwinning is only teachers can register on the site. So there's a very strict selection process that each national agency goes through when a teacher registers on eTwinning. Then of course the national agency for that country goes through the application process and checks that the person really is the person that they say they are. So if you're looking to cooperate with a specific school or an organization in a certain country, you can search for a partner that way. You can search for a specific person or even a specific project. So there are many different ways for you to find somebody that you really want to cooperate with and start a project with. Another way of looking for potential partners is through the groups section. I'm actually involved in a lot of groups on eTwinning because I have a lot of interests, not only in STEM, but also in mental health issues and social and emotional learning. So there are lots of groups that I'm involved in. Some of them are featured groups on the eTwinning website. Those groups have been around for very many years, and they have a lot of members, a lot of resources. They meet and discuss, share their views on specific subjects. So the groups are definitely a good way to meet people who have interests that are similar to yours. So that would definitely be something that I would recommend. But also you can check your compatibility with a project partner by looking for a specific project. In this way, you can check to see how compatible you are with a partner before you decide to take the plunge and apply for an Erasmus project. What is a good partner? I was just mentioning before, it's someone that you know that you can rely on, but it's also, are they responsive? Do they contribute regularly? Are they considerate of deadlines? Deadlines are very important when it comes to Erasmus projects, but in eTwinning as well. And not every eTwinning project has to last for a year or two. It can just be a month or a couple of months. So if you decide to get involved in an eTwinning project, you can have a look under a certain topic. For example, on the screen in front of you, you can see some of the projects that I'm involved with at the moment. One is related to mathematics. So it's the ABCD of mathematicians, and then there's a well-being through STREAM. So again, something that is connected to mathematics, but also to mental health and to well-being. So definitely something that I would recommend. Go look through the projects that are available, get in touch with the founder of the project and ask them, if you're a novice, just to kind of dip your toes into eTwinning and see how a project works, what makes a good project. So, for example, if you do decide to go forth and become an Erasmus participant, then you can use the eTwinning portal as a virtual space for your Erasmus project. They work so well because an important aspect of Erasmus is the visual one, the dissemination, sharing the results. And in this sense, eTwinning is perfect because you can use the virtual space, the home of your Erasmus project on eTwinning to document everything that is done on the Erasmus project itself, from the very beginning, from introducing the partners of the project to choosing a logo for the project, all the learning teacher training activities that are done. All of these things, files, photographs, documents, everything can be kept on the eTwinning project space. And I find that that is an ideal way for me to keep track of where I've been, what I'm doing, and what else I need to do. So it is ideal to store all the important agreements, deadlines, the task distribution, action plan, all of these points that are written down on the slide. Okay, when it comes to student participation, even those students that are not part of a mobility can feel involved, because eTwinning is not only about projects and teachers, it's about students at the end of the day. It's the perfect place where they feel safe. Only students that are invited by their teachers can become part of the project. It is a very safe online environment because, as I mentioned before, the teachers go through a very kind of rigorous process of being allowed access to eTwinning. And once they are allowed this access, once they have registered, then they can start inviting their pupils. So for parents, it's also important for them to know when their children are online on eTwinning, there are no outside threats. Only the people that are involved in a project, when I say people, I mean teachers and students, they are the only people that can see the photographs, the documentation, all that's going on that's connected to the project itself. So in this way, the children are safe to exchange their thoughts, their opinions, ask questions, and again, all the information is there for them. Whenever they want to see what's going on in partner countries with partner schools, they can log on to the twinspace and have a look to see what the next phase of the project is. And of course, once they are part of the project, then collaboration between pupils is encouraged. It's definitely one of the most important factors, because working in transnational teams, it is a key factor at the end of the day, isn't it? Learning all about each other, different cultures. At the end of the day, I always say we're all different, but we have so many commonalities. There's a lot of common ground between all of us, and this is the perfect way for them to see how similar we all are. eTwinning also offers the
Klasik
possibility.
olabilir seneye yeni sınav sisteminde. O zaman değişebilir, yani ona göre
If you
yazmalıyız.
could just turn your microphone off, thank you. So, although today I wanted to host this webinar on Teams, which is not cooperating, I could have done it on eTwinning, because it offers the possibility of video conferencing, which is a great controlled environment for teachers and pupils to meet. And there's the option of discussing certain issues on forums as well. So again, lots of possibilities for eTwinning. Now, I spent just about 20 minutes kind of going through the basics of eTwinning, but I wanted to show you all in a very practical example, in a practical way of how you can connect Erasmus and eTwinning. And as I said, the project that I'm currently involved in is a K2 project. It's an Erasmus project that started just under a year and a half ago. This project is very specific because there are no student mobilities. Now, some of you are probably thinking, if there are no student mobilities, why do you have a twinspace? Well, this is the reason, because we want to involve our students, even though they are not, strictly speaking, a focal part of the Erasmus project. What we're doing with this project will definitely have an impact not only on other teachers, but also on our pupils. So for us, it was very important to open an eTwinning project connected to the Erasmus project. So this specific project is all about climate change and STEM education in the classroom. So we're focused on integrating STEM and STEAM education, coding and robotics, and trying to find some kind of proposal. It says here, trying to bring digital solutions. I don't know if we'll ever find the solution to climate change, but it's our goal to contribute to looking for such a solution. I'm not going to read through this. There are lots of statistics and mathematics. I don't want to bore you with these percentages, but our project is very specific when it comes to the goals of what it is that we want to achieve. The main result of the project will be a MOOC, a massive open online course, and it will be a digital book with lots of learning scenarios. So in this approach, we want to educate colleagues throughout Europe, so not only teachers and colleagues who are part of the project and in the schools that we teach, but beyond. We want to reach out beyond our schools and our cities, and help teach and educate other teachers on the basics of climate change. And then in that way, they will share their knowledge with their students. In order to do this, there will be this e-learning platform, but there will also be many learning scenarios that will be applicable in the classroom. Okay, so this is how our project twinspace looks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can go on to ESEP, and maybe ESEP will be more cooperative when I share my screen, and I'd like to go through the actual twinspace of our project. But this is just in case on my PowerPoint presentation. This was just in case ESEP decides not to collaborate with me today, but this is how it looks, our project twinspace. So it starts very much similarly to every eTwinning project. There's the outline, then as you can see, it says student activities. As I mentioned earlier, our project doesn't have student mobilities, but we do have student activities. Then there are sections on all the meetings, the transnational meetings that were held, and the learning teacher training activities. As you can see, point 10, there's a student ambassador program. That's something as well that we introduced, trying to get as many of our students involved in the project, as many students as possible. And we're very honoured to say that for COP28, one of our partners on the project, Professor Candida Rocha, was also a participant of COP28. And she shared her insights with us last month, I believe it was. I'm hoping she's also with us this evening. If there are any questions that you would like to ask her connected to...
I am here. Hello, Anita.
Hello. Hello.
I am here.
Hello, Candida. Lovely to have you with us.
I'm here.
So I'm hoping that our participants will maybe ask you some questions, as seeing as you're the expert on climate change. Excellent. Thank you very much. This is the QR code for the twinspace. You can scan this. I've allowed access so that it's open to everyone at the moment, so you can have a look to see how our twinspace looks. But as I said, I'm going to try now and go to the website and see if that's going to work for me today. Okay, so how does this look? Is the twinspace visible to everyone from my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So it's a very busy twinspace, as you can see, lots of pages, and on each section there are even more sub pages. So as I mentioned, it starts with the project outline. I'm going to skip the second page for now and just show you how you can document every meeting or teacher training activity so that everything is there on the one place for you. Okay, everything seems to be okay for now. So our first meeting was held in Sweden, but the first transnational meeting was held then. And as you can see, I added just the objectives so that everything is there, visible for us to see. This was a very short transnational meeting, which only lasted the one day, but on the sub page following this, I included a wakelet of Stockholm memories. Let's see if that's going to open. If the internet is not cooperating, I will go back to my PowerPoint presentation. I can see it's churning on the top left-hand corner as I click away. But the point that I wanted to make is that every meeting that is undertaken or every teacher training that is done, you can use eTwinning to keep all of the documents, the images, all the resources as a repository. It seems to have stopped, so I'm going to go back to the presentation. I have everything on there anyway, but I was hoping to kind of share the twinspace live with you. Okay, not to worry. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show you. On the page titled transnational meeting 1, there are the objectives of the meeting, and there's a sub-page with a Wakelet collection that is available for everyone to open up, where I don't know if it's visible on the screen, but it says 74 items. Those are all the kind of photographs, all the discussions and topics, everything we went through when we were planning that initial phase of the meeting. Following the transnational meeting, then the first learning teacher training activity was held in Portugal. Now, I don't know if it's visible to you on the left corner of this main page, but it says day 1, day 2, and so forth. So each day has its own sub-page, and I went into great detail documenting what was done on each day, photos, presentations, for example, so that everything is on the one place. And what I like to do at the end of each learning teacher training is to make a video presentation. It's kind of a report that I share with my colleagues, with my headmaster and colleagues in school, of what it is that we did, that we learned. So every teacher training activity has a video attached to it. Okay, and then that was the case for every teacher training activity. As you can see, after Portugal, there was one that was held in Belgium, and then another one in Sweden, and each page is documented in a very similar way. So day by day, what was done, what was achieved, and kind of like a video report of everything at the end. The 7th point on the twinspace is, of course, is Erasmus Days. So it was important for us to celebrate Erasmus Days. This is an Erasmus project, of course, and on that section, each of the schools will be adding the ways they celebrated Erasmus in their school, how they connected it to this project, and we also did a video in our school, again informing our local community of the project. It's a type of dissemination as well. The hallways of our school had lots of photographs of the Erasmus project that we are participating in. So it was just a way to focus on this particular project during the month of October. So between the 9th till the 14th, I believe, are Erasmus Days. Okay, then I want to talk about our student ambassador program. Hang on. Just a second. Actually, I'll go on to student activities and come back to the ambassador program. Now, as I mentioned quite a few times, students are not a core part of the Erasmus this time around. We participated in projects before where students have gone on mobilities. Students, of course, go to other countries, or they host other countries. But in this case, this was a very different kind of project, where the main goal was the massive open online course and the learning scenarios. But we want to include our students. We want them to feel a part of this project. So we decided that every time we went on a learning teacher training activity, we would share our knowledge with our students. Every learning teacher training activity has a certain theme. When we visited, for example, Portugal, we learned all about the basics of climate change. Professor Candida Rocha, who's with us in the chat, held lectures at the University of Lusafona in Portugal, in Lisbon. So for us, that was a great opening activity, learning about the basics. So she educated us so that we can share the knowledge that further she shares with us, we share beyond the classroom and so forth. But then we thought, well, if we've learned this, it would be good for us then to share our knowledge with our students. How do we do this? Let's get students involved from all the partner countries. So from not only from our school, but from our Swedish partners, Belgian partners, Turkish partners, not so much from Portugal because it's a university that is partnering us in this project, but we came up with specific student activities that we thought would be great for them. The first one was Climate Guardians. Now, this student activity is a direct continuation of the workshops that were held in Portugal. The goal of this activity was to engage all of our students in the sense that we wanted them to learn the basics of climate change. We're in various ways, from discussions to watching videos that were age appropriate for them. We made sure that these were all videos either from National Geographic or NASA or other recommended sites, so that they were getting the correct information from us, from these great resources and sources. And how would they then be able to use the knowledge that we taught them? The goal was for them to work again in transnational groups, to collaborate on posters, on discussions, make presentations together and so forth. But again, the base was learning, just as we did, all about climate change. So sharing our knowledge, how we have an impact on climate change, perhaps even ask our students what their thoughts were, how can they develop solutions. It's important to engage them, and that student agency is definitely important. They are our future. They are the people that will be trying to solve the problems that generations before them brought to the planet. So that's one of the activities. The second one was Eco-Innovators. Now, this student activity was a direct continuation of the workshops that were held in Belgium. This was in June of last year. This was the second learning teacher training activity. And when we were in Belgium, there were several workshops that were held on programming, for example, and among other workshops. But this was one that we thought we could share with our students. Again, because the topic of the project is climate change with STEM as a solution. It's significant that we should try and incorporate using microbits or Arduinos or even Lego Spike. So these are photographs of some of the students in our school programming using these, in a lot of senses, very easy to use tools. And who doesn't like Lego? All of our children love Lego, as do many teachers, including myself. So this was a great way for them to combine programming, robotics, creativity, and again, climate change. As you can see on the slide, it says hands-on problem solving. It's all about being hands-on, coming up with solutions that are creative, that can directly be connected to climate change challenges. What can our students come up with what are their ideas for the future of tackling this enormous problem that we face. Now, in Sweden, we attended quite a few workshops also. The one that stood out for me was connected to plastics and recycling. So that's why this student activity on eTwinning is a direct continuation of a workshop that was held in Sweden. The objective was to empower the pupils to become plastic detectives. There is a kind of misconception that all plastic can be recycled. I have to admit, I'm ashamed to say, but I thought that was the case until the workshop in Sweden, when a chemistry colleague who is in the Arena Academy and held the workshop for us said that is definitely not the case. There are many plastics that cannot be recycled. So I thought that was a great idea to encourage our students to become detectives and understand the various recycling capabilities of the types of plastics that are used commercially. So the student activity related to this LTT is introducing the students to plastics and recycling, what the processes and challenges are. Again, the student agency aspect, what kind of sustainable solutions can they come up with? Because we will, I don't think, be able to be rid of plastic, if not for a long time, then ever, unfortunately, because it is so ingrained in very many industries at the moment. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that future generations will come up with other materials that can be used instead of plastics. But again, as I said, each teacher training activity is transferred to our students. And then once all of our pupils are equipped with the various knowledge that we can share with them and give them following our teacher training, they will become part of a student ambassador program for climate change. What does this entail? Again, this was something that we came up with together. What would make a good student ambassador? It's kind of divided into 3 separate sections. This is something that we are starting now. The project will last another 7 months, so we have plenty of time to undergo this program with our students. And we decided that we really need our pupils to acquire knowledge in all of these points that are listed on your screen. So whether it's the climate change basics or sustainability in the environment, environmental advocacy and justice, all of these are very important. And if we can equip our students just with the basics of each of these, then I think that we're on the right path. So the first month will be dedicated to understanding climate change. The second is devoted to mitigation and adaptation strategies. And then the third month is how to become a student climate change ambassador. Once they go through all of these months through this process, they will be awarded a special certificate in recognition of their outstanding achievements. But I just wanted to go through, I see we have a little bit more time, just to give you kind of a taster of what it is that we thought the students should undertake as part of this progress. So the first month is understanding the basics. the introduction to climate change and how they can educate their peers in school and beyond in the local community. So the introduction to climate change, what are the impacts on ecosystems and the human influence on climate change. On the twin board below, on the actual page of the project, the children will add images or presentations, any kind of results that they came up with regards to understanding climate change. In the second month, then it's all about mitigation and adaptation strategies. So here we're talking about introducing them to the renewable energy sources and solutions, and what are the climate change adaptation measures. Again, there will be a twin board available to all the students that are participating in this part of the project to share their resources, their results, videos, for example. It's really up to each and every partner institution to decide how they will undertake this part of the project with their students. And then the third month is the final stage of this ambassador program. It's no use just having all of this knowledge. We have to know how to effectively communicate to each other, spread the word of how important this issue is. It's all about advocacy and activism. Perhaps come up with a project for your local community. That would be the final goal of this section of the project with regards to our pupils and eTwinning. So develop and present a climate action plan for your local community, or perhaps even a business or organization. This would be the perfect way to get community involved, parents, any kind of associations or organizations. There's really no point keeping the knowledge to ourselves within our classroom. It's all about being vocal, encouraging our pupils to take responsibility and also to act upon this responsibility. It's amazing, I find, when you give your students enough encouragement and you build up their self-confidence, they truly then start to believe in themselves and that they can make a change. That is the whole point. They have to believe in themselves, and when they do, proper, valid, tangible and visual change can be seen. So that's how we are including our students in an Erasmus project in which initially they were not included at all. When you look at the plan of the Erasmus project, there wasn't a lot of student impact in a sense. No mobilities, but eTwinning is the perfect way to get hundreds and hundreds of students involved in this. Going back to the twinspace, after all of the LTTs and the transnational meetings and student participation, then of course this is the proper platform to have online meetings and record your online meetings, show when we met, what we discuss. Everything can be documented on the twinspace in this way. And the final point for now is the 12th page, where I dedicated a whole section to COP28, the race against time. As I mentioned a couple of months ago, Professor Rocha held a 3-hour webinar in which she spoke of the conference that took place in Dubai at the end of 2023. That was a great webinar, and we learned a lot as project partners She's with us. She's with us this evening. If there are any questions that you would like to ask her. The webinar, I believe, was recorded. I will ask her to share the link with us, and I can also add that to my presentation, which I can share with all of you, so we can have a look at that. There are a lot of slides because there's a lot of information, lots of important statistics and ideas, discussions. 3 hours really is not enough time to fully comprehend everything that was discussed in Dubai, but if there is interest, if you'd like the link to the webinar, I can add that also to my presentation, which I will share with you. So I'm coming towards the end. Just to reiterate the main goal of this Erasmus project, everything that I stated before, all the teacher training activities, all the learning, all the student participation that we decided to include, will all contribute to an e-learning platform. The project results and outputs for this huge Erasmus project that we're really proud to be participants of include this mock for teachers, which will be available for everyone to have a look at, to take part in. It will be accredited. There will be a certificate of participation that each person will be given at the end of the mock. So it's all about teachers learning the basics of climate change. Following their learning, then they can use the digital book that we are preparing with lots of learning scenarios that will help them implement all their knowledge in the classroom. So I can tell you from first-hand experience, because I'm one of the authors, as are all my colleagues that are in the Erasmus project. There will be learning scenarios on various aspects of sustainability, of pollution, whether it's noise pollution, sound pollution, microplastics. We are trying to include as many learning scenarios that are easy to use in the classroom, that are creative, that are applicable for today, and that the children at the end of the day will find interesting. So that's the point, that we share this knowledge and we educate our students. Our Erasmus project is disseminated on the website of our school. So if you look for our school website, there's a section that is dedicated to the project itself. If you click on the link, it will take you directly to the eTwinning site, where all of this information that I've spoken of can be found. So I'm keeping everything open to everyone who would like to have a look at the information, because dissemination is key. Even at the end of an Erasmus project, whether it's K1 or in our case specifically a K2 project, I really hope that cooperation continues. With the end of an Erasmus project, there is not a finite end. There is no full stop. A colleague of mine a couple of days ago said to me when we were talking about projects, there is no full stop at the end of a great project. It's just a comma. So there should be some kind of continuation. And what is a sustainable project at the end of the day? It's one that keeps on going. There is no end, because until we find a solution to the climate change problems that we're facing, that there can be no end to this project that we are participants of. So that's my hope, that even when it comes to the end, on the 1st of October, I will continue uploading information and resources onto our twinspace. It will be a live, breathing resource hub of information that we will continually be working on. So please feel free to have a look at it and perhaps get some ideas for yourself, for your colleagues, for your classroom, for your students. And that's where we will publish the results and the products, so that the twinspace really represents this rich collection of all the materials, all the hard work that we are undergoing and will still be undergoing in the future. Okay, I think that's almost my last slide. I hope that it was interesting, that you got some kind of motivation or perhaps even inspiration to apply for an Erasmus project, to open up an eTwinning or delve into an eTwinning project. But the two are cohesive. They work so well together. They are not separate sites. That's the way I see them. They there's a great synergy between the two, and if for whatever reason you'd like to get in touch with either my colleagues or myself, please feel free to do so. We can help you with any part of the process when it comes to Erasmus or eTwinning. I can't see the chat at the moment, but I'd just like to ask you to sign the list one more time if you haven't, so that you can all get a certificate of participation. That would be great. I'm going to show a slide now, which is just for the Croatian participants, because as an eTwinning ambassador, I'm kind of obligated to ask them to evaluate the webinar, so I can learn from you. This is of course the point. It's always about learning. So if you'd be so kind, just the Croatian participants once more, to either scan this QR code, or I think my colleague Margarita will put the link in the chat, and if you could fill in the evaluation, I would be very grateful to you. I've tried to keep it for exactly an hour. I see how I have 2 more minutes. So if there are any questions, please turn your microphone on. I'm more than happy, either myself or my colleagues, to answer your questions. I can stop sharing now and go back to the twinspace. Okay, Lee, no problem. If you want to turn your microphone on or camera, we can speak in English or Croatian. It's fine, either or. The only reason, as I mentioned, that I'm holding it in English today is because all my project partners, I'm hoping, are with me this evening in the chat, and I really wanted to disseminate the work we are doing and to encourage my Croatian colleagues to do an Erasmus, get involved. I'm always open to any collaboration. So please feel free. Thank you, Christina, for joining us today. Christina actually is a partner of mine on different projects. She is someone that I would recommend you all get in touch with if you would like to do an Erasmus. So get in touch with Christina on eTwinning if you'd like. I'm sure she won't complain. Is that okay, Christina?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Everything okay.
Okay.
Hello, Christina.
Hi,
There we
Engin.
go. Engin and Engin is a partner on this project. He works on other projects with Christina as well. So this is
Yes.
all one big community of teachers, I would say, who are different thinkers, creative, forward thinking, who want to make a difference. That's all of you who have joined us today. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me. I hope it was informative. And again, if you would like to get in touch, I can leave my email in the chat. Please send me an email. I'm more than happy to chat, correspond, or give you any kind of advice that you'd like. And greetings to all of you, especially my Erasmus project partners who have turned their cameras on so I can see them joining me from all over Europe. Martine, yes, of course I can. Martine, you need to register on eTwinning for me to make you part of the project group, so you have to go through the registration process.
But I'm registered already, I think.
Okay, I will then
following our presentation on the eTwinning site.
Okay, then I will invite you to the project group. I will
Okay,
look
thank you.
I will look for you. Is there anything that maybe you guys would like to ask from the Erasmus group? Seeing it as you're all eTwinning novices, so perhaps, you know, maybe there's something that you would you would like to ask me, or we can do it in private. It's fine.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you, Anita. Because of you, I became a member. I had no idea about this now.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Seema.
Thank you.
eTwinning is a great platform, and I'm glad that we got everything sorted out. So as you can see, there's a lot of information about the project on the platform itself, and it will be a great repository, I think, for all of us to look back upon and use when it comes to the documentation at the end of the project. Okay, thank you all kindly for joining me once more. My colleagues and I have a meeting, a staff meeting at 6 o'clock, so I shall leave you now, but take care and get in touch if there's anything you need. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Anita,
Goodbye.
for
Bye-bye.
efforts.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Thank
Engin.
you, Anita.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anita, bye-bye.